Pew Research has been doing some terrific polling recently because it gives you a real interesting view into the mindset of the American voter, right? And this time they asked about the rich and taxes and justice, etc. And some very interesting results. So first of all, you know how the Republicans have been saying throughout, oh, the rich are taxed too much. We have one of the highest tax rates in the world. They say that about corporate taxes, and oftentimes they say it and pretend that we have it in regards to personal income taxes, which of course is nowhere near true. Now, when you take the effective rates of what the rich and the corporations pay, it's actually among the lowest in the world. But they bellyache about it anyway. Oh my God, we pay too much. We pay too much. Oh, it hurts the job creators. Now, you've seen it a million times, right? So what percentage of Americans believe the rich pay too much in taxes? 8%. So despite all of that propaganda, and oftentimes supported by the media, by people like Aaron Burnett, who's out in front of the banks and the rich, right? And despite all of that effort that cost them billions of dollars overall in ads, going on television, etc., they could only get 8% of the American people to believe that the rich are taxed too much. All right, now the rest of those numbers. 58% believe the rich don't pay enough, and 26% believe the rich pay their fair share. So, nearly 6 in 10 Americans say, now come on, man, who are you kidding? Of course they don't pay enough. Look, remember, the top bracket, and the top bracket is different. Sometimes it applied to incomes that were much higher back in the day, right? But from the 1950s through the 1970s, 74%, 91%, 94%. For them to claim that 35% is way too high is ridiculous. And if it was at 70% like when Reagan came in, I think you could make a case that that's too high. But at 35%, no. And you also can't make that case because we've seen the last 10 years. We cut taxes from the Clinton era, and what happened? We didn't create jobs, we lost jobs. Whereas when they were higher during the Clinton era, we had 22.5 million jobs created in 8 years, the best period of employment in American history, okay? So now, the interesting second part of this is that when you ask the upper class, now this is people who say, I am upper class or I am upper middle class. They self-identify that way. Do you think the rich are not taxed enough? You would think, well, they would say, well, no, I don't want to pay more taxes. We're taxed plenty, right? Wrong. Even a majority of them, 52% say we're not taxed enough. It's just the taxes are too low. Because they know they pay the tax. They probably, presumably, a lot of them paid the taxes in the old days, and they pay them now, and they're like, boy, they're much lower than they used to be. It's kind of incredible, right? So the third amazing part of this is that the American people, once again, I'm one of the few guys who believes the American people, in the long run, are smart and know exactly what they're doing. Now, a lot of mistakes in the short run, I know that, right? But look, they're right. They don't blame the rich. They actually have no problems with the rich. They say, quote, let me give you the percentages. They say rich people are more likely to be intelligent. 43% of them say that. Okay, that's a plurality. Again, 42% say rich are more likely to be hardworking. And 55% say that the rich are seen also to be more likely to be greedy. So there's the good and the bad, right? So now, look, do I agree that the rich are more intelligent or more greedy? Well, I'm not sure, but I think that they're a mix like everybody else. Just, money has a corrupting influence at times, but they, of course, can be just as intelligent. And some are more intelligent, some are less intelligent. It also depends on whether you made it on your own. Let's keep it real. If you're an entrepreneur like Conrad Hilton, you're probably a pretty smart guy that built the Hilton fortune. If you're his granddaughter and you're among the super rich, you're Paris Hilton, not necessarily as bright. So obviously it's a mix. So I think the American people are right about that as well. But what they say is, it's not that we're concerned that they're bad guys, it's that we're concerned that they're not paying their fair share. In fact, 63% of Americans say the GOP favors the rich over the middle class and poor. 71% say that Romney's election would be good for wealthy people. So the problem isn't that Mitt Romney is rich. The problem is that he is going to give more breaks to the rich when they don't need them. They're 100% right about that. Remember, FDR was rich. But you know what? And Teddy Roosevelt was rich. But they didn't give breaks to the rich. They looked out for the middle class. But that's not what Romney plans to do. Romney plans to give a bigger tax cut to the rich. And even the rich here are saying, oh, come on, it's too much. And now, more interesting stats. In fact, here is Kim Parker, Associate Director of the Pew Social and Demographics Trends. She analyzed this, and I love her quote on it. She says, "The fact that Romney may be viewed as wealthy doesn't necessarily pose a problem for his candidacy." This is her analysis of the numbers. "The challenge for Romney lies more in the fact that large majorities say if he is elected president, his policies would likely benefit the wealthy." 1,000,000% right. And now, how about Obama? Here, they're actually wrong. And this is interesting, right? They say that 60% say that if Obama is reelected, his policies will benefit the poor, while half say that they'll help the middle class, and only 37% say they'll boost the wealthy. And only 20% say the Democratic Party is in it to help the rich, okay? I got bad news for you. The Democratic Party also here to help the rich, okay? Now, what's fascinating about that is that Romney's campaign blaming Obama, he wants to help people with food stamps and welfare, etc., might ironically be helping him, when in reality, President Obama gave the same giant bailouts to the banks that the Republicans did. He gave almost nothing to the homeowners like the Republicans did. So many of his policies also favor the rich. In fact, President Obama says he will lower the corporate taxes to 28% if he's reelected. So he has, in some ways, similar policies, obviously not nearly as extreme as Romney and the Republicans. They want to help the rich in a more grandiose way. But the reality is the Democrats aren't here to help you either. It's just that by comparison, they seem heavenly compared to the Republicans, who you are positive will help the rich and screw you over. On that part, you're absolutely right.